Welcome to Ethan's Revenge.
She said she couldn't handle another funeral. I said it was fine. She hugged me at the door like I was going on a business trip. I drove 200 miles to bury my father. She stayed behind. Said someone had to feed the dog. I got home Sunday night. Half the closet was gone. Her charger. Her shoes. All missing. I checked the bank. $42,188 on Thursday. Now? $11. My name is David Wells. I'm 39. Maintenance foreman. Tulsa, Oklahoma. I fix broken stuff. Pipes, lights, people. Sometimes. 6 years married. No kids. Just a mortgage, a joint account, and a German shepherd named Cody. There was no note. No text. Just an empty dresser and silence. I opened our banking app again. 3 transfers. All outgoing. 1 to her personal. 1 labeled, rebuild. 1 to an account I didn't recognize. She waited until I was at a cemetery to walk out. I sat on the couch for an hour. Didn't drink. Didn't curse. Didn't call. I opened a notebook and wrote 3 things. Freeze. Track. Respond. First move. I locked her access to every joint account. Second, called the bank and filed fraud paperwork. Third, called Jacob, old friend, now a lawyer. He owed me one. Cody followed me around the house that night like he knew something was off. I didn't talk. I just planned. 7:45 a.m. I was in the bank. Told the manager what happened. Showed her the transactions. She scanned the screen. Do you want to dispute all of them? Yes. She hesitated. She's still listed on this account. Not for long, I said. I signed every form she gave me. Took the copies. Filed them in a folder labeled proof. I didn't sleep that night. But I wasn't tired. She emptied the savings. But she forgot one thing. I keep receipts. She drained 42 grand while I stood next to a casket. I didn't send her a message. Didn't ask why. Didn't tell her I knew. I called Jacob that afternoon. Told him what happened. Told him I wanted everything locked down. He didn't ask questions. Just said, come in tomorrow. Bring every document you have. So I did. Property titles. Loan statements. Tax returns. Screenshots of the transfers. The marriage license. The prenup. Yeah, we had one. She called it just paper when we signed it. Now it was the most valuable thing I owned. Jacob read it slowly, flipping each page like it was a weapon. When he got to Clause 6B, he nodded. She waived claim to any account not explicitly in her name. That includes transfers made under false pretense. What does that mean for me? It means we get your money back. Or we bury her in filings until she chokes on them. I didn't say anything. He leaned forward. You want to go nuclear? I looked him in the eye. I want to be finished. That night, I sat in my garage and boxed up everything that had her name on it. Labeled it all. Bagged her clothes. Separated toiletries. Took photos. Dated every box. If she came back, I didn't want a single word out of her mouth. I wanted to hand her evidence and tell her to sign. Cody watched from the corner. No barking. No wagging. Just watching. The next morning, Jacob filed an emergency motion. Froze her new account. Sent subpoenas to the bank for access logs and timestamps. Requested a court order to prevent her from liquidating any shared assets. By noon, she was locked out of everything. At 3:04 p.m., she called. I let it ring. At 3:06 p.m., she texted. I didn't mean for it to happen this way. At 3:09 p.m., she sent another. Can we talk? I turned off notifications. That night, I pulled the hard drive from our home office computer. Dug through the recycle bin. Found a folder called Budget_2024. Inside, a spreadsheet with all our accounts. Password hints. Withdrawal plans. A note labeled Execute after Thursday. It had the exact amount she took. This was an impulse. It was a blueprint. She waited until I was grieving. Until she knew I'd be too numb to notice. And then she ran. She didn't just steal money. She calculated the timing. She timed my father's death like a window of opportunity. Next day, Jacob called. She hired counsel, he said. They're asking if you're open to a conversation. I answered with 2 words. No conversation. She didn't text again. Not that day. Not the next. But her lawyer did. First email came Tuesday morning. Our client expresses regret. She hopes to resolve this matter without further escalation. I didn't reply. Second email, Wednesday. She's open to mediation. I forwarded it to Jacob. He called 5 minutes later. She's stalling, he said. Trying to get access before the freeze becomes permanent. She's not getting anything, I said. Good. Because I already filed the injunction. It goes active Friday morning. That gave her 48 hours. She didn't know it yet, but her window was closing. Fast. That night, I went back through the security footage. She left the house Friday morning. Returned twice while I was gone. First trip, 34 minutes. Second, over an hour. She had a key. She still had the code. I watched as she walked through the house like a thief in her own life. Took the watch I gave her for our anniversary. The leather jacket she always said she hated. Even a painting off the hallway wall, something her mother gave us. She moved slow. No panic. No guilt. She knew exactly what she was doing. At 11:47 p.m. that night, I changed the locks. By Thursday morning, the alarm code was reset. She was out. Officially. That afternoon, I filed for divorce. Served through her lawyer, direct and legal. No calls. No meetings. Just paper. She tried to transfer money again that evening. System denied it. I got the notification at 6:32 p.m. 2 minutes later, I got a new text. Are you seriously doing this? I thought we meant more than lawyers and banks. I stared at the screen. She meant it. Not sorry for what she did. Just shocked I didn't fold. I typed one sentence. I buried my father and came home to a robbery. I hit send. Then I blocked her number. Jacob called Friday morning. All freezes are active. Court date set. She'll be notified by mail. I asked him what the odds were of recovering the full $42,000. If she caves early, you'll get it back. If not, we turn the screws. How long? Depends how loud she gets when she realizes you won't beg. I looked at the boxes in the garage. Taped. Labeled. Stacked like she never existed. Let her get loud. I wasn't listening. Saturday morning, I got an email from her lawyer. Our client was unable to access her personal funds. She would like to request limited access to cover basic living expenses. They were calling it her personal funds. The same money she took behind my back. Jacob answered before I could. Our client contests the legality of all transfers made while he was out of state attending a funeral. We declined. 1 hour later, her text came in. So you're really doing this? You're going to leave me with nothing? She forgot she was the one who left first. I didn't answer. At 1:13 p.m., she tried to log into our old utility accounts. Failed login. Failed again. Locked out. At 2:01 p.m., she tried to Venmo herself from my business account. That one triggered a fraud alert. I got a phone call from the bank before she could even blink. I confirmed the block. Confirmed the freeze. Confirmed that the only thing she'd be moving now was her own bags. That evening, Jacob filed the emergency petition for asset recovery. It would take time. But it was now on record and legally binding. She couldn't touch $1 without triggering contempt. Sunday, I boxed up her last few things. The dog bed she never washed. The sweatshirt I bought her at the lake. Even her old passport, expired and still buried in the drawer where I used to keep our travel plans. I labeled the box, her exit. I didn't burn anything. Didn't break anything. I just closed it. Monday morning, her lawyer caved. My client would like to propose a settlement. I told Jacob to reply with one word. No. That afternoon, I sat in the shop office. Cody snored at my feet. I scrolled through 6 years of joint photos. Vacations. Dinners. Holiday mornings. Lazy Sundays. Then I hit select all. Delete. Confirm. Not out of anger. Out of clarity. She didn't just leave me. She emptied the life we built like it was a rental car. And now she wanted to talk terms? There were no terms left. Monday night, she showed up at my door. No call. No warning. Just headlights in the driveway and her silhouette on the porch holding a canvas tote. I didn't open. She knocked. David, please, she said. I just need a few things. I waited. Silent. Then she said it. I didn't mean to hurt you. That line. Like it was an accident. Like she tripped and fell into $42,000 and an exit plan. I opened the door just wide enough to speak. There's a box in the garage. It's labeled. Take it and go. She stared at me. Eyes red. No makeup. Hair messy. Like playing vulnerable would hit reset. It wasn't supposed to be like this, she whispered. It never is, I said. She walked to the garage. Grabbed the box. Paused halfway down the driveway. Can we just talk? You had 6 years, I said. You chose silence. Now it's mine. I closed the door. The next morning, I checked her name in the county system. She'd filed a temporary motion to access marital funds. Jacob already countered. Motion denied. We were on the offensive now. Wednesday, I got the report back from the private investigator. Yes, I hired one. Quietly. Week 2. She hadn't just left. She'd been planning it for 4 months. Opened a new account in her maiden name. Had a storage unit 40 minutes out of town. Was meeting weekly with a realtor about individual housing options. She started separating herself long before she said a word. The money? Just the final move. I printed the report. Bound it. Labeled the cover. Pattern of intent. Thursday morning, her lawyer reached out again. My client is willing to forfeit the disputed funds in exchange for joint property. She wanted the house. The one I repaired board by board. The one she tried to empty while I stood over a coffin. Jacob replied with 2 sentences. Our client is not negotiating with thieves. He will see her in court. That night, she called from a different number. Blocked it. 10 minutes later, she emailed. Can you really say you never made mistakes? I didn't answer. I just opened the pattern of intent folder, flipped to page 9, and highlighted the withdrawal she made the day of the funeral 2 hours, 17 minutes after I texted her, we're at the cemetery. She saw me bury my father. And opened the app anyway. Friday morning, the court date was confirmed. 2 weeks out. She had 14 days to decide if she wanted to lose slowly or publicly. Jacob smiled when he told me. She'll fold, he said. People like her always think the game is theirs until the judge enters the room. What do we do until then? I asked. Build pressure. We filed a formal claim for restitution. We attached the bank logs, the PI report, the prenup, the motion she tried to sneak through. We included the screenshot where she named her withdrawal folder, Rebuild. Judges don't like cute. We made it look exactly like it was, a planned financial ambush, executed while I stood in a cemetery. That afternoon, I got a message from her sister. She's living at a friend's place. Says you froze everything. Says she's scared. Scared? She wasn't scared when she ran with the money. She wasn't scared when she packed her things while I was standing over a casket. She wasn't scared when she took the password list out of my desk drawer and named the file Execute. Now she's scared? Good. Saturday, I returned her last voicemail to Jacob. He added it to the case file. I didn't know how to tell him. I didn't plan it this way. I just needed to get out. She didn't plan it? She moved half our liquid assets 3 days before the funeral. She had a storage unit under her old name. She opened a backup account across state lines. That's not panic. That's a blueprint. By Monday, the title company issued a statement. She tried to schedule an appraisal on the house again. Different rep. Same game. I emailed the company myself. Any further attempts by Natalie Wells to act on this property without legal ownership will be treated as attempted fraud. 10 minutes later, they called to apologize. Policy updated. Her name blacklisted. That night, Jacob sent me a message. She blinked. Her lawyer just offered full restitution if you waive the court hearing. I told him what to reply. We'll waive the court hearing. But not the record. This was never about money. It was about clarity. She made choices. She left footprints. Now she doesn't want them read out loud. But it's too late. The judge will see them. The public will hear them. And I'll watch her explain every step. Tuesday, 9:16 a.m. Her lawyer sent another offer. Client is willing to return full funds and forfeit future claims in exchange for confidentiality. She does not want her name attached to public record. I read it twice. Laughed once. Then forwarded it to Jacob. He didn't laugh. She's scared, he said. She should be, I said. At 11 a.m., I pulled the surveillance logs again. The night I came back from the funeral. She'd entered the house that morning. Timestamp, 9:03 a.m. She left at 9:48 with 2 duffel bags. The second trip? She came back at 4:22 p.m. Took the wedding album, the safe key, and Cody's extra leash. She wasn't just running. She was erasing. Jacob filed our final response that afternoon. Our client declines any sealed agreements. The record stands. Public, permanent, and complete. We included every page of her rebuild plan. The withdrawal log. The spreadsheet titled Solo Budget. The calendar entry that read, Execute Transfer, Dave Gone. It all went into the court file. That evening, she called again. Unknown number. I didn't answer. But I saved the voicemail. Please. I can't undo it. I just want to move on. You win. Okay. You win. There was no win here. There was just exposure. She buried herself. I just built the flashlight. Wednesday morning, Jacob got the call. Her lawyer wanted to meet. Not in court, face to face. To resolve before the hearing. Jacob asked me if I wanted to be there. No, I said. Let her explain herself to someone who's still willing to sit across the table. He met them alone. Called me after. She cried, he said. Said she wasn't thinking clearly. Claimed she was overwhelmed. That she felt trapped. Did she sign? Yes. Full admission of guilt. No claim to the funds. Public release allowed. Silence. She wanted to add a line, something personal, about how she hopes you'll forgive her. I let that hang for a second. No. I spent the rest of the day at the shop. Worked a full shift. Didn't tell anyone what was happening. Didn't post about it. Didn't brag. Just repaired what was broken. That night, I grilled a steak, fed Cody, and opened a beer on the porch. She'd returned nothing but dust and apologies. And I didn't need either. Thursday, the court stamped the settlement. Final. Public. Recorded. She forfeited all claims. Returned the full $42,188. Acknowledged intent to conceal the transfers. Waived confidentiality. Waived future challenge rights. Waived her pride on paper. Jacob texted me one word. Done. I didn't celebrate. I just drove to the bank and watched the balance update in real time. $42,188.37. They added 37 cents in interest. I moved it to a new account. Different bank. Solo name. No app access. Paper statements only. Label. Recovery fund. That afternoon, I boxed her last item. One small framed photo from a vacation we took in Durango. She was smiling. I wasn't. I wrapped it in brown paper. Taped it. Dropped it at the post office. No note. No return address. Just a line in the cinder field. That night, Cody barked at a noise by the street. A car idled for longer than it should have. I looked through the blinds. White sedan. Texas tags. Familiar. She didn't get out. Didn't knock. Just sat there for a while. Then drove off. I didn't feel anything. Not rage. Not closure. Just space. Friday, Jacob sent the final package. Stamped decree. Digital copy. Termination letter for all shared accounts. Record of the filed restitution. All clean. All done. He added a handwritten note. You handled this like a professional. She never saw it coming. I folded the note once. Filed it with the rest. Saturday, I finally slept in. No vibrating phone. No lawyer emails. No alarms in my chest. I took Cody for a walk at dawn. Cool breeze. Dry air. Empty streets. He trotted ahead, tail high, leash slack. Like he knew the weight was gone. Maybe he did. Back home, I cleared the last 2 drawers she used. Left side. Bottom shelf. Old lotions. Travel cables. A single earring with no pair. I dumped it all into a bag. Tied it. Tossed it in the trash. Some things don't need labels. They just don't belong anymore. She planned while I trusted her silence. She ran while I stood still. But I'm still standing. And she? She'll spend the rest of her life wondering how a quiet man kept records that loud. Sunday came quiet. No emails. No missed calls. No movement on the cameras. I cooked breakfast. Ate in silence. Cody watched me from the floor, tail thumping once every few minutes. For the first time in weeks, I didn't check my phone before my coffee. I didn't need to. Around noon, I got a notification from the title company. Transfer of sole ownership confirmed. Mortgage adjusted. Her name removed from the deed. Her signature voided. I signed it all digitally. Didn't blink once. The house was mine. Fully. Legally. Finally. I opened the hallway closet where she used to keep a tote bag labeled emergencies. Inside were old receipts, expired gift cards, a scarf she never wore, and a photo of us at her sister's wedding. She looked like she loved me in that photo. Or maybe she just looked like someone good at smiling. I placed the picture face down in the drawer. Didn't throw it away. Not out of nostalgia. Out of proof. Monday morning, I went back to work like nothing ever happened. Pipes still leak. Fuses still blow. People still need someone steady. I fixed a busted heater in a second-grade classroom. The teacher said, "You look rested." I nodded. I finally slept. That afternoon, I checked the account. Still full. She hadn't touched a cent. Not because she couldn't. Because she knew what came next if she tried. Jacob made that part very clear in the court filing. One more move, and she'd be in contempt. Not a fine. A charge. Tuesday evening, I got one last message. Blocked number. No name. Just text. I hope you find peace. I didn't expect you to become someone I couldn't reach. I stared at it for a while. then deleted it. No screenshots. No response. Some things don't deserve a file. Some endings don't need punctuation. That night, I sat on the porch again. Same chair. Same quiet. But it wasn't silence now. It was space. I looked up at the sky and thought. She planned an escape. I built an ending. Friday morning, the weather shifted. Cold front rolled in. Gray sky. Wind sharp. The kind of morning where you feel everything. I took Cody for a walk before sunrise. No leash. He stayed close, like always. Didn't run. Didn't pull. Just matched my pace. That's trust. The kind you don't get back once broken. When I came home, I opened the safe. Pulled out the folder Jacob gave me. Flipped through the last pages. Final judgment. Account balances. Settlement signed. Property deed. Restitution receipt. It was all there. Every piece of the storm. Stacked. Filed. Finished. I added one sheet at the very back, a printout of her message. I didn't expect you to become someone I couldn't reach. That was the last thing she'd ever send me. And I wanted it preserved. Not for revenge. Not for closure. Just in case I ever forgot what silence can do. I cleaned the garage that afternoon. Swept up dust. Tossed out old paint cans. Moved her box to the back wall. Still sealed. Still labeled. Her exit. I didn't open it. Didn't throw it away either. It wasn't mine anymore. It never really was. That night, I deleted the last backup of our photos. They weren't poisoned. They were just expired. Some things die quiet. Like trust. Saturday morning, I got coffee at the gas station. Same guy behind the counter. He looked up and said, "You're smiling more lately." Didn't realize I was. Didn't know it showed. I spent the rest of the weekend building a workbench in the shed. Stained the wood myself. Cut every line by hand. No music. No distractions. Just repetition. Rhythm. Wood and steel and stillness. And when I stepped back at the end of the day, it looked right. Solid. Nothing fancy. But it would last. That night, I watched the sun go down with Cody curled beside me. No messages. No alarms. No locks left to change. I don't hate her. I don't want her back. I don't need her to explain. She walked out. I stood still. She emptied the account. I rebuilt the foundation. She lied. I listened. And when the time came, I spoke without raising my voice. Some men fight back loud. Some build systems that speak for them. I never had to raise a hand. I just wrote everything down and walked out clean.